It appears the truck attacks are continuing with 2 more vehicles set alight overnight. The latest torchings happened in Empangeni in KwaZulu-Natal.
According to police, the trucks were targeted as they queued on the N2 freeway. A group of armed men allegedly forced the drivers out of their vehicles and robbed them before destroying the trucks. So this brings to 4 the number of similar attacks since Sunday, with at least 15 vehicles torched in KwaZulu-Natal, Limpopo and Mpumalanga.
All right, let's bring you the latest on this now. Bring in KZN's police spokesperson, Jay Naicker, who joins us via our video link this morning. Great to have you on the program, sir. Thanks for making time. It appears the modus operandi here is exactly the same. What can you tell us about what happened?
You're correct, and the modus operandi seems to be the same as Van Renen's past on Sunday. A large group of men, according to the victims, approximately 8 of them, they were armed with firearms and they did fire shots again during this incident. They held up these trucks queue on the N2 before they let into the off-ramp that goes into Richards Bay towards the harbour. So the queue sometimes extends for about 3 kilometers, and these guys were more towards the back of the queue. They were pulled out of their vehicles. They were robbed of their belongings, which is something we're seeing now in both incidents where they robbed the drivers of their belongings. They then pulled them out of their trucks, and then they set the 2 trucks alight and fled the scene.
Was anything stolen from the trucks?
Yes, I'm told that the drivers were robbed of their belongings that were in the truck.
All right, but the goods that the trucks were carrying, basically, is what I'm asking. Was any of that taken?
Oh, no. The goods were set alight. It was just the belongings of the drivers, like their cell phones, wallets, etc.
Sure. I mean, I wonder what it is that makes it so difficult for these attacks to be intercepted before they happen, especially because now, Jay, there's so much focus on these kind of assaults, especially in KZN.
Yeah, so following this incident, we've now a permanent deployment we've identified over 20 routes now in KZN that these trucks are using, and we've deployed police officers permanently on these routes day and night. So we've shifted a lot of our resources, vehicles and manpower to man these routes. They will be permanently deployed day and night on these routes. In terms of the investigations, the provincial commissioners directed that the provincial organized crime unit take over these investigations. The dockets have been centralized to a team from the provincial organized crime unit, and they've taken over these dockets. And in both incidents, we're looking at charges of attempted murder, armed robbery, as well as malicious damage to property.
Those deployments are only taking place now. Why? I mean, in some instances, if they happened, for instance, after the Sunday assault, maybe these 2 latest trucks would have been spared.
Yeah, as you quite rightly said, after the second incident last night, we immediately realized that it wasn't a once-off thing, and we needed to have deployments in place that there's more attacks that might come. And so we immediately, as I say, our resources are stretched, but we did move a lot of our manpower and vehicles onto these routes. And this is obviously, at the expense of other communities that also need policing.
Yeah. One can't help but sort of take note of the timing of these attacks. It's taking place 2 years after the July unrest. How are you approaching these particular incidents? Are you seeing it in that light or just viewing it as general criminality?
No, definitely there's a focus on the trucks for whatever reason. And like I said, we have the best investigators on the job. They've already started interviewing the victims. They are downloading video footage that's available to identify the perpetrators. And I'm quite sure that they will be able to make a breakthrough soon. Yeah.
The deployments, do you know how long they're going to last? I mean, is this the sustainable solution from KZN police or an interim measure given the spike in these attacks?
Definitely, as I say, we have to pull resources from other areas to put them onto these routes. So for now, we can't tell you how long we're going to keep these deployments. Naturally, it will also depend on the investigation, identifying and arresting the perpetrators.
All right. Jay Naicker, thanks very much indeed for your time, at least for letting us in on what you know so far. As we continue watching this developing story, really do appreciate your time on the AM Report.